We have very little with you talking.
This is true.
This is by design, I bet.
Partially.
Tell us about do you have a garden?
I do.
Do you really know anything about it?
I've shared
A
some
lot.
shared some of this with him, and we've discussed the gardening. I started with clay, and I've added sand, and I've added compost. Each year is better, has been better. I'm getting more, and I'm getting a greater variety in my garden. Now, I got to say this though, I grew up in an environment in which we had a half-acre garden, but I didn't pay any attention to what it took to get that garden. I just ate the reward. I was rewarded by being able to eat it and can it and the rest of it. But I wasn't interested in gardening as a teenager. So.
You're in Hawaii.
I'm in Hawaii, and now I'm interested in gardening.
It seems like people in Hawaii have it easy. Is that true?
I believe it to be true. I believe that the locals, before Safeway and Kentucky Fried got there, pretty much self-sustaining. I mean, you can grow your own goods, and of course, your fruits, your mangoes, your bananas, your pineapples, on and on and on. When they're in season, there's no need to buy them. They are everywhere. They're on the ground. They're falling on the ground. They're ignored to some degree. So that they're plentiful. You don't have to go to Safeway for a mango or an avocado. You just pick one up or go to your neighbor's house. Now the bananas, a banana tree produces about 150 bananas per bunch.
I thought you were going to say per tree.
Well, that would be a tree per bunch, because the tree gives you one bunch one time, and then it dies. Then you cut it off, because what has happened is all the little baby banana trees are coming out of the ground. So the mother tree produces its fruit after a couple of years and dies. But the babies come up and next year give you another batch or another tree.
Or two or
Or
three.
two, three, and you can separate the babies, the kikis as they call them.
Get the kikis?
Kikis.
How long does it take a banana tree to grow?
A year and a half maybe or so. And so, since you can't eat 150 bananas at one sitting, you give them away. You know?
And you hang it up, right? There's that.
Well, you cut it off, you bring the tree down, you cut off the bunch, you make hands, what they call hands. And when you go into the supermarkets, that's what you buy, is a hand of 3 or 4 or 5. Well, those are taken off a bunch that's this long and that big around. So you give it away to your neighbors and friends, and it comes back to you as banana bread.
Oh, how nice.
And so there's a lot of sharing that goes on. And being a little island in the middle of the Pacific, of course, the ocean provides a lot of food, fish and stuff, seaweed, opihi. So you have the ocean supplying you, and you have all the fruits and vegetables that you could possibly want if you're paying attention. What has happened over there, unfortunately, is that the local population has become all-American folks with all the all-American diseases and problems. A lot of obesity.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing because it doesn't have to be that way.
Talk about that just for a minute. Like, what was it? How long have you been there?
Well, I've been going there since 1970, and but I started living there full time. Well, I was going to say 2003 because I spent most of my time on islands from 2003, but permanently since 2008. And I have seen the difference, particularly since 1970, when it wasn't as inundated with the American corporate structure. So I've seen it go from not too much obesity to a lot of obesity. And of course, I don't know personally about the heart diseases and all the rest of the stuff that goes on, except in personal instances where maybe an auntie or an uncle comes down with something. But they've lost the way, so to speak, when it comes to living off of the fat of the land. And now they're all into the supermarkets and the Kmart's and the Costco's and all that. And there's only one health food store, two health food stores on the entire island. It takes me 40 minutes to get to my closest health food store.
What island?
Kauai.
Uh-huh.
And it's 40 minutes away, and I make that journey once every 2 weeks on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock before the traffic starts up, and I do my shopping. And between the health food store and my garden, I pretty much got it figured out.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Well, thank you much.
Dell, one of my oldest friends, he's 74, a little older. And he was down by the water, and Keisha, my daughter, was next to him. They were sitting in the creek with their feet in the water, but sitting on plastic chairs, being very cool and comfortable and so on. All of a sudden, he began to exhibit signs of something being amiss. And Keisha was right there, and she was the one who acted and saw what was happening. She paid attention to him. He responded, and then he faded again, and she realized he needed to get out of the water and get up somewhere, and asked for a little bit of help, and people started showing up and getting the picture. And they got him up to the deck above, where he probably spent an hour and a half slowly coming back. The most important thing that happened was I came later and sat by him for quite a while, a good half hour, and Dell said to me, "I went there. It was wonderful. I've been here a few times before, but this was deeper than I've ever been, and it was profound and beyond." And I said something like, "Yeah," and realized that all that happens, all that transpires, is just what it ought to be. And no medical intervention was needed. He was very clear with Keisha, if this is my moment, so be it. I'll go right here, right now. That's fine with me. And he did briefly slip into that, probably several times. This is the life and death play that we are all in. This is reality. And the key to it all is accepting that reality, not fighting, getting shots, denying, trying to think of other things. Just being with it. Be there with what unfolds. And Dell just did it exquisitely and had an experience to add to his other experiences of his lifetime in knowing that death is a part of life, and he's not afraid of it. And when it comes, it comes. And when it happens, it happens. I think he senses, as I hope I do, a oneness with all of that. Dell.